Now that you have a better understanding of game plans and the objectives behind the attacking mentality, we need to explore the basic shot patterns used to maintain good court position. When hitting to stay in the point, percentage shot patterns consist of the shot selections that provide the shortest distance to full recovery, or the shortest path to position at net. In a baseline rally, a ball traveling at average speed takes less than 2 seconds to reach the opponent. Within that 1 to 2 second time frame, you must be able to establish court position that locates you halfway between your opponent's best possible shots. If you're unable to fully recover in time, you will leave open court for the opponent. Looking at this diagram, you'll see that the recovery positions are different with each direction of shot. When you're hitting from a position wide in the court, if you choose the cross-court target 1, you must find recovery position number 1. This cross-court pattern provides the best opportunity to recover and continue the point. When you hit to the center target 2, you have further to travel to reach recovery position 2. And if you choose a driving shot to the down-the-line target 3, your shot better be an outright winner, or there'll be a great opportunity for your opponent to beat you cross-court, because it's very unlikely you'll be able to fully recover in time.
Beautiful preparation. Two-handed backhand, and look, she knew she was going in before she hit the ball. That's what makes her so good. She's got that instinct that before she gets to the ball, hey, I'm going in. And by doing that, she ends up inside the court an extra step or so. You don't hit, look, and then go in. You know, as you build a point, you have certain objectives. And before she gets to the ball, she's doing it. And you know why this comes about? Is because she practices that way. This doesn't come about by accident. Now, she will move back once in a while. And when she does move back, she'll get right back up into that pocket immediately. And that's what makes it so good.
Your ability to improve your court position behind every shot is critical to your attacking game plan. When working with short balls out near the alley, approaching down the line provides the shortest path to improving your court position. To approach cross-court from that same position requires you to travel a much greater distance to reach closing net position, leaving you most vulnerable to the down-the-line passing shot. When you have a short ball in the center of the court, attacking straight down the center will reduce the opponent's passing shot angles, deter their lob tendency, and allow you to position for the volley. As you progressively work your way into net with your approach shot and often a first volley, you are trying to ultimately achieve a closing position that is close enough to net to angle the volleys away and still guard against the lob. When facing an opponent with all the weapons, you must position yourself halfway between the opponent's best possible shots. That means you're positioned within 1 step and a full reach of the racket of covering the down-the-line passing shot, within 1 step and a full reach of covering the angle passing shot, and within 2 steps of covering a lob. In closing net position, your range of coverage is the area within your reach that you can effectively cover most of the time. Through solid volley and overhead skills and quick reflexes, you're creating a wall of defense that the opponent cannot easily penetrate. To beat you, they must hit outside your range of coverage and execute with precision.
A backboard, and by the way, a Bollettieri backboard. That's the defense. Imagine the opponent saying, if I hit anywhere in that range, I lose. You must be able to cover the entire distance of that backboard. Move to the right, move to the left, make those lunges. Once the backboard breaks down that area of play, the counterpuncher has a field day. So you must protect that wall of defense.
So we have 2 basic percentage shot patterns to remember. In the baseline rally, we use cross-court patterns, and for attacking the net with approaches and setup volleys, we use the down-the-line patterns. As you begin to gain knowledge about your opponent, their strengths, weaknesses, and tendencies, you may be able to adjust your court positioning and even deviate from the shot patterns at times to attack a weakness. Approaching cross-court into a weakness may end up paying off, but you do risk leaving open court opportunities for your opponent. When you choose to not play the preferred patterns, you just need to understand how it adversely affects your court position.
When you volley for position, especially if you're back by the tee. The closer you get to the net, the more you can angle off the volley. And that's what it's about. You're putting more pressure on the counterpuncher to make their shot even better.
To err is human, to force is divine.
Take a moment to picture in your own mind a scenario where you have an approach shot and your intent is to force your opponent while you move into net position. With your knowledge of percentage shot patterns, you're likely thinking of a down-the-line approach and probably a penetrating drive with margin of error. But what if your opponent typically positions 5 feet behind the baseline in the rally? Then your chances of actually forcing the opponent with your deep shot get very slim. Looking at that same point, by the way the attacking player is preparing for the approach shot, what type of shot do you think the opponent is expecting, deep or short? It is clear by the attacker's racket preparation that his intent is to drive the ball, not to hit a drop shot. There's no need for the opponent to worry about the short ball. By using your deep slice approach, you set up great disguise for adjusting the depth of your shots. Every so often you can mix in the drop shot and the opponent will be left sitting on their heels, waiting for the ball to come to them. Don't forget, drop shots and drop volleys are the most effective forcing shots when your opponent positions deep in the backcourt. Once you've forced them a few times with drop shots and drop volleys, the opponent will have to guard against that strategy by positioning closer to the baseline in the rally, where they may not be as comfortable. Now when you attack on a deep ball, it will be much easier to force the opponent because of where the opponent is positioned in the court. Developing the art of disguise in your game and paying attention to how your opponent positions in the court will allow you to effectively attack both deep and short throughout the match.
Warning, don't feed the giant.
When you've created a great opportunity to approach and attack the net, the last thing you want to do is to provide the opponent with the exact type of shot they love to work with when hitting passing shots and lobs. All it takes is a sliver of opportunity and a quality counterpuncher will take control of the point, turning the tables using their own closing combinations to force you at net. Most counterpunchers would prefer your approach shot to travel at the same speed as your shots in the rally, land within 3 or 4 feet of the baseline, and bounce up into their preferred contact zone. All too often, we see players approaching on this same type of shot every time. Then they're left wondering why the opponent is having such a great day passing them time and time again. Using variations of spin, pace, and depth on the approach shot forces the opponent to work with balls outside of their preferred contact zone, giving them nothing to work with, making them generate all their own pace as you toy with their timing and rhythm. Think of using variation as a way of giving the opponent less to work with, so you don't end up feeding the giant.
Don't feed the giant.
The 99 Men's World Championship clearly showed that the all-court game with a couple of weapons in the long run will normally beat the other player no matter how good they are. And this was clearly shown by Sampras beating Agassi in the finals, even though Agassi was #1. Pete was able to dig deep, come in with a big serve and volley, come in and hit that kicker overhead to slam dunk. He had powerful ground strokes there, flat, but he had a little bit more than Andre to come in. And this is what I believe is going to happen in the 2000s. fire zone. You've cut off almost half the distance that the ball travels. You've got to be ready. Be standing on your heels and taking a picture, you're going to be flat on your fanny. A shortstop is ready. He's down ready to make wonderful moves. You watch the girl basketball players in guarding the opponent. They're down ready. Once you're in that fire zone, you have to be prepared not only for the first volley, but to get back to position. You have to be prepared to move back, hit the overhead, and move back in.
When you choose to enter the fire zone, if you're unable to maintain control of points, chances are you'll go down in flames. As you work to build your wall of defense at net, your movement must be quick yet controlled and calculated, and your net skills rock solid. What you need is an athletic foundation.